Welcome. The hour being 7 p.m. on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. The Tooele City Council is meeting in a business meeting. This meeting is being held at the Tooele City Hall in the council chambers located at 90 North Main Street in Tooele, Utah. This is also being streamed electronically on the Tooele City YouTube channel. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please rise and repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our second item is a roll call. Councilwoman Manzione.
Present.
Councilwoman Goches.
Present.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Councilman McCall.
Present.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I'm also present. Item 3 is the Mayor's Youth Recognition Awards. We'll turn the time over to Mayor Debbie Nguyen.
Thank you, Chairman. So excited for this part of our City Council meeting. This is our favorite part of our council meetings, right?
Right.
Yep, see, they all agree. So good to see all of you out there tonight. We have 3 awards to give out this evening, and I'm going to invite our Chief of Police, Chief Day, to come up and help me to pass out these awards tonight. We've got some special backpacks and some gifts inside of there from our local businesses. And I am going to read off the name of our recipient, and then we're going to ask you, when I read your name, if you'll please come up, and we'll give you a backpack there, and then if you'll stand here for a few moments while I read some really special things about you. So we're going to start with Isaiah Chavez Flores. Will you please come up? All right. So Isaiah was nominated by Catherine Fetzer and Marcy Martinez from the West Elementary School. We were going to tell you a little bit about Isaiah. He is a wonderful example for his peers. He is always on time, and he is prepared to learn. He is respectful, kind, and helpful towards everyone. He always helps to keep our classroom clean and organized. Isaiah is always kind to others. It's pretty important. Always kind to others. When someone is having a rough day, his kind gestures toward that person make their day even better. He will always find a solution to a problem. He is a very quiet person, but his kind action towards others do not go unnoticed. Congratulations to Isaiah. And Isaiah's mom, help me pronounce your mom's name, tell me. Anna Chavez. So we are very grateful because, you know, kids don't grow up just like this without kind help from their moms, dads, parents, grandparents. And is that your sister? Look at that beautiful smile. She is so proud of you. I can tell how proud she is, and I'll bet she's as special as you, too. You think? All right. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you. All right. Our next recipient is Damian Anderton. Damian, come on up. I love that shirt. West Elementary Lions. Awesome. Okay. Damian was nominated by Ms. Young and Fran West from West Elementary School. I'm going to tell you, Damian is always willing to be helpful to everyone and anyone. Doesn't matter, huh? Everybody you treat really well. That's awesome. He understands that as a 6th grade student, he is a leader at West, and he tries his best to be a positive example. You can always catch Damian with a smile. Yeah, you got it. and see him go out of his way to help others, just like you, Isaiah, helping others. Damien will always tidy up our classrooms and then ask what more he can do. He loves to be helpful and will always go the extra mile. Damien's thoughtfulness and kindness to his peers are shown through his everyday interactions. If he understands a concept and another student is struggling, he will often be the first to volunteer to help his classmates. He will notice when others seem down and will always be there to cheer them up. So congratulations, Damien, for being a wonderful person. And we want to recognize Damien's parents, Nolan and Tiffany Anderton. Let's give them all a round of applause. All right. One more tonight. Alice Estes. Estes? Got it. Estes. Oh, look at you, Alice. All right, I'm going to tell you all about Alice. Alice was nominated by Joanne McCluskey from West Elementary School. Alice is an asset to the classroom. She is a good example and an excellent friend. Alice is always ready to learn and wants to help others to learn as well. She takes care of her tools and encourages other students to be neat and tidy without criticizing them. She is very compassionate in every situation. Ms. McCluskey has several students that struggle with behavior and learning challenges in her classroom. Alice loves to be their helper, whether it is walking them to the restroom, helping them stay on task during seat time, or needing someone to play with at recess. She is extremely patient and directs them step by step to help them complete their tasks. She knows not to give answers, but she helps them complete their tasks. Ms. McCluskey is amazed at her nurturing abilities and is so grateful that Alice is part of her classroom community. Congratulations, Alice. And I want to recognize Alice's parents, Pat and Vanessa Estes. What? And are you a brother? Are you a brother back there? Are you proud of Alice? And you are her brother. I am so glad that you are here. And all of you are great examples of what we wish everyone could be. You know what kind of a world we'd have if we were all like you? Pretty great, huh? So don't ever stop doing what you're doing. Always be a great example to people because they will watch you and they will want to be like you. So we are appreciative of all of you that are here to show your appreciation and your love for these students and for their whole families, and we appreciate what you do for each of them. Now, we want all of our community to know how wonderful that you are, so we would like to ask you if you'll take your backpack and hand it maybe to a family member for a moment. Keep your certificate, and we're going to invite the council to come out and join us out in the rotunda here to take a photo, and then we're going to post that on our social media. We're also going to put it in the newspaper, the transcript bulletin, and tonight, it's working, right? Sometimes we have trouble with technology, you know how that goes. Anyway, tonight's city council is being live streamed on our YouTube channel, but you can always go back and watch it at any time. So if your family or your friends couldn't be here tonight, they can get on YouTube and they can watch this part where you see this award. So we're very, very proud of you and are grateful that you're here. So parents, get out your cameras, get out your phones there. We're going to go out here and let you take all the pictures that you want, okay? So we'll hold off for just a minute while we take some pictures.
We'll wait a minute or two.
Yeah. More pictures.
The mayor's out. All right, we'll move on to our next item. Our next item is a public comment period. This is the time for the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the mic, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then sign the paper over by Michelle. Before I do that, we did receive an email to our public comment email. I'll just read that. It says, "What are the potential impacts to changing the land use from medium density to high density?" And it's signed Kyson Jarvis. All right, the time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public comment period and we'll move on to item 5, Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation presented by Debbie Nguyen, the mayor.
Thank you, Chairman. Sometimes we have to address some things in our community that are really not very fun. Sometimes they're hard things. But what's good about this is that we have people in our community that are here to help those who are going through hard times. So this proclamation that I will read tonight, whereas it is a basic human right to live a life free from violence and abuse. Domestic violence is a serious problem that occurs in all cultures and communities and does not discriminate by age, gender, social class, race, ethnicity, religious affiliation, or sexual orientation. Both women and men in Utah experience intimate partner violence, and most families with intimate partner violence have children who are also impacted by the violence. Seniors are also victims of domestic and sexual violence and are part of the most underreported group. Awareness and intentional collaboration are required to find solutions to abuse and intimate partner violence. It is the role of local government to provide for the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. Now, therefore, I, Deborah E. Nguyen, Mayor of Tooele City, Utah, in partnership with South Valley Services, Pathways, do hereby proclaim October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In the city of Tooele, we urge all residents to use October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month to learn how they can break the silence and end domestic violence in our community. We wish we could end all of it, and it would be, like I said, a happy world where we have people like the students that you just saw, and everybody could be that way, and we wouldn't have these problems in our community. Maybe we may think it's impossible, but we can try. We can try. There will be a domestic violence awareness program called Paint the Town Purple, and it will be held on Friday evening. I think it's this Friday. It's on our website in case I get the date wrong. But we want everyone that would like to be there. It will be down at the city park, and so we appreciate those in our community that run this South Valley Pathways program that does help all of these people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Nguyen. We'll move on to item 6, which is a Small Business Development Center presentation presented by Jess Clifford, the SBDC Director of the Tooele Region.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you. I'm really excited to share some information about our activities. But before I do that, I need to thank Tooele City, not only for your partnership, but also for your support of Tooele Technical College and for your singular partnership in helping us to achieve our expansion and to secure facilities and land that have been involved in that. And so we can't express deeply enough how much that means to us and how much that's reiterated on our campus all the time. I'm going to give you some updates on that expansion as well through the course of the presentation today. And I know that several of you have had a chance to come and see what we've done. If you haven't had that opportunity, we'll talk about it a little bit, but I want to invite you to come and see what we've done. And we'll go from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. This is our activity in the Small Business Development Center. Every year I report to you about our hours rendered, the number of clients that we've served, jobs created, and our financial impact. This year I wanted to show you a 4-year trend because there's some very interesting things to see here and that I'm excited to share with you about. The first set of charts shows our activity and what we're doing with our clients. And you can see that last year in 2003, there were a lot of counseling hours invested. For the most part, those are usually level. You can see that here. And you can see that that also translates over to the green chart where you see our cash impact and our financial impact on the community. Now that impact is made up of loans, grants, and increased sales over the prior year. So that number that you see there for this last year, this is actually 2024. So that number is still climbing right now. But about 2 million of that represents an increase of sales, just to give you an idea. The thing that we wanted to point out was that over the past 3 years, a lot of the people that we've been able to serve have been coming in with startup propositions, and they've got, or they're just barely started. And I don't know how many of you have experience in small business, but you'll understand that those first 2 years are critical and they're hard. It's really hard to get funding. A lot of commercial products, the SBA products, often require a minimum number of years in business before you can qualify for their funding. And so there's a limited number of products available. And even if you do qualify, it's a very tough case to make when you don't have a track record or a history to be able to get that funding. So those businesses have a real hurdle. What we've realized is that as we've worked through serving these businesses, many of them have started to cross over that 2-year line. And so funding, growth, job generation have all started to tick up as that group of businesses matures, or as we've seen at least a number of them kind of make it through that startup period, which is statistically tough. And so we're really excited because we've been able to have an impact on the community that's unprecedented, not just because of what we've been able to do for them, but because of the businesses themselves, because of their perseverance, because of their willingness to follow principles and just work. And so I wanted to share that with you because we have a remarkable community that has great staying power. I also want to point out that that comes to us on the backside, if you will, of COVID. So these are businesses that survived that season. And I think that in and of itself speaks volumes. But we are very proud of that, of our clients and what they've been able to achieve. And I wanted to share that with you. What you see now on the screen are just an update on the activities that we're doing out of the SBDC right now, just some highlights. We've been teaching Smart Start classes in the community and at the school. These classes are usually an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. They're often over lunch, so they're not a huge commitment, and we teach them throughout the community as well as at the school with students. And they're designed for people that are kind of kicking the tires and wanting to know what's involved in getting started. And we'll entertain different topics at each one. We've been teaching one of these classes maybe every 2 months in the community, and they're free and open to everybody that wants to come. So we've dealt with marketing. We teach about financial management. We teach about how to get started and file a business entity and get that running. We talk about the professional services that are going to be important to have. And that's been able to also generate a number of businesses that have come to us for help after seeing that class. And so we're excited about that effort. Also, we've been beginning to employ or use interns for our work in the SBDC. And one of the great things that has done is provided multilingual ability. So we've been able to help businesses that are not English speaking, which was a population that was underserved before, because I don't speak Spanish, or I'm not multilingual. So that has allowed us to be able to address them and to be able to help more people. So we're really excited about what that's allowed us to do, as well as to help the interns and the students that we bring in to advance in their programs. So we've also become a participant in the Wildcat Micro Fund. This is a program out of Weber State. And what it is designed to do, it awards a small grant to startups. So you have to be under 6 months. You come in and you present your business case. You form a pitch, if you will, and they present that to a panel, and then they are ranked and awarded a grant for doing so. And so we've become the 5th center in the state to participate in this and to be able to refer business clients there. And it's a good exercise because it allows them to work through their business plan, see some success, and then we've seen them go on with a different perspective as they approach a bank or an investor and be able to do more with their business. So that's been a really positive effort also. We are really excited about our Entrepreneurial Academy. This is a statewide learning center that's online. It's AI driven. Everyone who works with the SBDC is given a free account for life, and you can interact with a talking person on the screen who will discuss any aspect of your business that you want to learn about. So this allows people to self-serve and to be able to learn the rudiments before they come to us, and it's allowed us to get into the deeper topics quickly. And so we use the Entrepreneurial Academy, but it's now also available in 5 languages. So we're really excited about that too. And its content base is getting pretty deep in terms of the things that you want to learn about. So we're happy to report that you can even now learn from the SBDC at 3 in the morning in your pajamas. So that's exciting. And then we Tooele specifically, our Tooele Center has headed an initiative called the Utah Advisory Committee. This is for the SBDC Utah, and what we've done is assembled stakeholders in the state. So the Spanish Chamber, for example, or the Suazo Center, or other stakeholders and business owners together in a committee that meets annually to advise and to review what we're doing and to help us to specifically address underserved communities and to hone our services and to make sure that they're relevant and meeting the need. And so Tooele is heading that initiative in the state. And so I'm happy to report that we're showing up statewide as well and showing some leadership there. Does anybody have any questions so far about the SBDC before I get to the really fun stuff? Okay, we'll go ahead then. I wanted to share a little bit about our expansion and all the dust that we're making at the end of the street. You're all aware of our expansion. This expansion is poised to double the footprint of our college. And it was a much needed expansion. It's in 4 phases, and we've just completed phase 2. So I'm really excited to tell you that all of our programs are now back in the building. And that's been a big deal because they've not been back in the building all year. And we've placed them wherever we could find space. And so now they're back. Everything to the south, which is the pointed part of the building that you see there, has been completed, and we're holding classes in there now, as well as the second floor that we'll go through and just show you really quick in a plan. Let's go ahead to the next one, and we'll do that now. So this is the main floor. Everything in the green and the light blue has been completed. We're starting the brown areas that you see, and those programs will continue where they are, and we're going to build around them. So that's going to be fun. But we've been building an airplane in the air for the last year and a half anyway, so I think we can do this. And it's exciting because there's a lot of energy right now over what's already happened. People are starting to see where we're going, and the students are excited. The faculty has a lot of energy, a lot of willingness to endure and make space for this project. So we're starting to move into phase 3. If we'll go to the next slide. This is the second floor of the finished wing that we've done, and this is most of our medical, business, and IT and technology programs, and some administrative space as well. We'll go to the next one. This is our construction trades center, and this is being built where the building that the school district held is sitting, or was sitting, to the west of our campus, to the northwest. And the city was particularly instrumental in helping us get this squared away, and we're very grateful. We're probably in the middle of that project right now, and it will take in all of our construction trades, including some new programs. So plumbing, in addition to our electrical program, and other construction will be taught there, and our CDL program will also reside in that building. They're currently at the depot. They're the only program that's not totally in the building yet. So we're working on that, and then to the east of this structure will be our new backing range, and that's going to happen there as well. If we could go one more there. This is really fun, and I wanted to share with everybody about our amphitheater. I would imagine all of you have seen the theater that's been built to the east of the campus there, where you come into Simply Bliss. That is also a 4-phase project, and what you see now is phase 2. What it will call for when it's finished, as you can see in the illustration on the bottom, is a second tier of seats that will extend into what's the slope now. So that'll cut in. There will be snack bars and restrooms underneath, and there will be a pavilion that will extend out over, covering the stage and the bottom tier. So it'll be outdoor, but it'll also be sheltered. And then there will be audio-visual installed and built into the facility. We're really excited about this because not only will this be a great space for us to finally have our graduations every year, but we see this as an addition to the community. This is an unprecedented facility in Tooele Valley, and we expect that the community will be able to make great use of this. And so we're really excited to be able to do this and to share it with the community. And I wanted to show you guys where that amphitheater is going. So as we continue to raise funds and find partners, that will advance, and this is the vision. Okay, I think that's it. Yep. Again, thank you. I just wanted to share those highlights with you tonight, and thank you for all that you do. And I would be happy to entertain any questions that I might not have adequately addressed.
Sorry, Michelle. Looking forward to seeing the finished product.
Thank you. And I want to invite all of you that haven't come to see what we've done so far to come for a tour. please pencil in late March. That's when we're hoping to have our blowout ribbon cutting party, and everybody needs to be there. It's going to be really great. We're already planning that now. And so we want everybody to come and enjoy the facility and to see what we have and what's happened in our city and what it can offer now. And we're really excited about that. So again, thank you for your support. This would not have been possible without the city and your partnership. And we are grateful to you. We promise to make every inch of it count. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 7, motion on ordinance 2024-25, an ordinance of the Tooele City Council approving a land use map amendment request by Julia Laborio and GL Home Investments to reassign the land use designation for 9.81 acres located at approximately 300 East, 1000 North from medium-density residential to high-density residential, presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Council. I know that you are very familiar with this project as we've discussed it in numerous meetings. So I'll just be brief in my presentation. It is a land use map amendment. It is not a zoning map amendment. It is an application proposed to change the land use designation for the property highlighted in red on the aerial photograph, which is located north of 1000 North at approximately 200 East. The property currently bears the RR5 zoning district, which is rural residential, 5-acre lots. Currently, the property is designated on the land use map as medium-density residential, which is single-family residential with a density of about 5 units per acre, R17, R18, and R110. The applicant is requesting to change the designation of the property to HDR, which would facilitate consideration on zoning the property either in a multifamily density. The Planning Commission held a public hearing at its meeting. I can't remember the exact date of that, but they did recommend approval of the application. And the City Council held a public hearing at their previous meeting, at which time they voted to table it pending additional information. The item is now here for the City Council's decision. And I believe the applicant is here as well if you'd like to ask her any questions regarding the application. Otherwise, I'll turn it back over to the City Council.
Are there any questions for Andrew? Are there any questions for the applicant? I don't know if you want to come up and present anything, take questions.
Actually, I wrote something because I get very nervous. And so, good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to review my proposal. I appreciate Andrew's work and presentation regarding my land. I am very confident that this land amendment will bring significant benefits to the city. And I would like to reinforce some of the key points. First, it will stimulate economic growth. Second, it will provide a collector street, which is part of the city's transportation master plan. And lastly, it will be a great affordable housing option for the first-time home buyers. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I guess you don't have questions, right?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Have you reached out to the landowner next to you at all about the road that you would need to build?
Yes, I have, and they are very open to work with us and to sell the land. So, yeah, we have a few proposals, and I think that we will consider adding this 50-feet piece of land to our development so we can have more units. And we can have more open spaces and everything, yeah. Yeah, we have been doing some research for almost 2 years. So we have been working on this for a long time, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions?
Mr. Chair, I've got a question. Have you done a traffic study on the impact of what your proposed development will be? And I know that this is a land use, but if we raise that to high density, have you studied the traffic and what will come in and out of your development?
And not to be honest, just what Andrews presented today.
Okay.
Mine would be the water. Did you ever, because I think the last time you said you didn't have water.
Can you repeat again, please?
Do you have water? Well, I'm jumping the gun because they're not trying to build anything just yet, but to change this to high density, which means you're planning on building apartments or townhouses or whatever.
Townhomes,
But do
yeah.
you have water for those?
I don't understand exactly, like how much are they going to cost, or what do you mean? I don't know.
For a residential development, you would have to give water shares to the
Oh,
city.
okay.
So I think he's asking if you already have water shares or rights to water to build.
So we are still working on that because it's not easy to obtain them. So we have been talking to other builders and developers and that are working with the city. And so, yeah, we will have to see. I think if we have this approved, we will have to continue with the other steps that are the water rights and water shares.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, we appreciate your time. All right, any other discussion from the council? In the work meeting, I blended words there. I still feel strongly that, I'm thinking 5-10 years down the road, I could see this not being townhouses and being something more commercial, medical offices, business offices, things like that. So I'm not in support of rezoning this to a high density. Okay.
And I don't think I am either, not necessarily the same reason, I just, without more planning of what's going to happen there, and they have the ability to do it, because if we just change it, then they sell it, and then what's next with, if we've already changed what we're going to do, I think they need to have more lined out in order for me to be on board with doing it.
That's my concern as well.
I have to agree that there, because I know that we don't divvy water to developers, and if it's hard to get water now, I don't know. It's kind of hard, and if there was,
Plus the transportation part of it, getting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the transportation.
I hate 1,000 north in that intersection right now, so eventually maybe we'll get it figured out, but that just adds to it. Until they get some roads going north and through the other roads, but that would take a lot of landowner agreement to make that happen without everybody building.
Yeah, I wish all the landowners could get together in a room and meet and make a plan that worked together so that we could get that to happen, but I guess that's optimistic.
yeah, but that would, I guess the biggest thing with me is just that it's not complete. You know what I mean? The land, the connections for the road, the water that will be required, everything that you would need to do the project is not all there. You know, you got a small piece here, and they got to try to get the other pieces together. If all of it was together, then I'd probably feel differently. You know what I mean? Because it's all there. I don't know.
Okay, any other discussion? Roger.
Chairman Brady, to go along with your comment, the exercise for tonight is to look into the future and see what kinds of uses you'd like on the land. It wouldn't be looking at any particular configuration or circulation or anything like that, just the uses. And you've identified what uses you think would be preferable for that property, and that is the deliberation for tonight.
All right, I will entertain a motion if anyone would like to make one. I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we reject ordinance 2024-25.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That is not approved with a 5-0 vote. Item 8 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2024-27, an ordinance of Tooele City amending the streetlight utility fee, presented by Jamie Grand Prix, the Public Works Director.
Good evening, council. So the last council meeting, which I was absent for, you heard a presentation from Fred Philpott for the streetlight utility fee, the study that they completed for that. And so we now have come to you tonight with an ordinance to raise that fee to $3.50, which would go into effect January 1st, would go out with the first bills in February. There is an increase, automatic increases over the next 4 years after that, a 28% increase, and then 3% increases to get our streetlight utility fund where it needs to be. And so with that, short and sweet presentation, but I would kind of request that increase and can answer any questions that you may have. And I know this is a public hearing, so.
Are there any questions from the council before we open the time to the public? Okay, thanks, Jamie. As Jamie said, this is a public hearing, so we invite the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the mic, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and sign the paper by Michelle. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, make a motion. We're on ordinance 2024-27, an ordinance of Tooele City amending the street lights utility fee.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall and a second from Councilwoman Manzione. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 9 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2024-28, an ordinance of Tooele City amending the stormwater mitigation fee, presented by Jamie Grand Prix, the Public Works Director.
Okay, kind of the same thing. This is for the stormwater mitigation fee. There was a presentation 2 weeks ago from Fred Philpott on this study that we did for the stormwater system. It currently is set at $3, and we are asking for a 28% increase. Am I reading that right? 28% increase. Sometimes my eyes ain't as good as they used to be.
It's pretty
It
small
says
writing.
28.
Yeah, 28.
28.
To $3.84, and then it does ask for a 28% increase again over the next 4 years after that, and bringing that fee up as well, and so that we can continue working on our storm water system and getting the much needed projects done in that utility. Any questions?
Are much needed.
Much needed.
And the council, with other fees, we've talked about not ignoring these for long terms, right? And so that's why these are being addressed, is we want to address some of the issues going on in our city, and this is how we have to do it. So I support this. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, this also has a public hearing. We invite the public to address the council with the same rules previously stated. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve ordinance 2024-28, amending the stormwater mitigation fee.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Item 10 is Resolution 2024-80, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with Cache Valley Electric Company for the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of 1000 North and 528 East. This is presented by Jamie Grandpree, the Public Works Director.
So you're aware that we had just turned on traffic signal number 2, which is at 1000 North and 100 East. And now I'm ready to come to you for the next one, which is at 1000 North and 520 East, which is also much needed and a warranted signal. So we have, last time at council, Michelle brought an invoice to you for UDOT for the parts for this signal. And now I'm bringing the resolution to you, which is going to be the installation, which we use Cache Valley Electric. They are on state contract. They gave us a bid for $147,601 to do the installation work. So we bring that to you, and I'm hoping that I can have this one up and go on live in the next few weeks.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hopefully this light lasts longer than the flashing one you had put up that, didn't that get hit in like 3 hours or something?
Yeah, it was hit within one side was hit within 3 hours.
It's much needed in this area, though. With the previous motion that we voted on, 1000 North has turned into a very busy road, and I have family that lives over there, so I go over there often, and it's difficult to make a left-hand turn. So I think this is great and much needed in that area.
And with the improvements at England Acres Park, it's becoming very popular crossing.
It'll be good for pedestrians too, yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve Resolution 2024-00, no, 80. Yeah, watch out, don't laugh at me. A resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with Cache Valley Electric Company for the installation of traffic signal at the intersection of 1000 North and 520 East.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
I have issues with this one. When I arrived here in '93, it was only 3 stoplights in the whole city. And it's kind of ticking me off that now this will be the 3rd one. But I'm voting aye, because we do need it. But we're just growing too much.
We are growing. And I vote aye. That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yep, thanks.
Item 11 is ordinance 2024-24, an ordinance of Tooele City amending Tooele City Code Section 10-2-8 regarding obstruction of streets and sidewalks, presented by Roger Baker, the city attorney.
Thank you, Council. On the previous item, I remember when city engineer Gerald Webster decided to pave 1000 North for the first time. And so 30 years ago, it was a dirt road. This ordinance is an amendment to a previous ordinance that we did not too long ago that would prohibit on high-volume roads, prohibit pedestrians from entering into the roadway to exchange something with a driver of a vehicle. It would be a violation both on the part of the pedestrian and the driver. As we've lived with this ordinance for a little while, we've realized that there are a couple of other roads that are sufficiently high-volume roads that we wanted to recommend that you add them to the list. And these are 100 East from 1000 North to Utah Avenue, and 700 South, which starts at Main Street and goes to Tooele Boulevard. It's really the only direct east-west route on that side of town and does carry a high volume of vehicles. The ordinance is fairly lengthy, both because we wanted to incorporate some of the recitals from the original ordinance, but we also wanted to provide as detailed a justification as we could for why to add these streets. And so That's why you see a lot of recitals explaining why these streets ought to be added. So that is our recommendation for you this evening.
Are there any questions or comments from the council?
No.
I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-24 and ordinance of the Tooele City amending Tooele City Code Section 10-2-8 regarding obstruction of streets and sidewalks.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 12 is Resolution 2024-77, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with American Chiller Mechanical Service for boiler replacement at the Tooele City Public Library, presented by Darwin Cook, the Parks and Recreation Director.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for this opportunity. As you know, part of my responsibilities with the city is building maintenance, and with that, I help some of the building supervisors update and improve their buildings. To give you a little history on this little boiler project, 3 of our buildings, the pool, the library, and the city hall, were kind of built in the same era, and they all had similar type heating apparatuses, which were boilers. They do run on natural gas, back 20 years ago, they were designed a little bit different. They do have a lifespan. It is right around 20 years. And most of that is just because the actual heat exchanger itself just completely corrodes out. At the pool, all 3 of the boilers that were there were completely leaking and constant water on the floor. So we chose to do that one first in this series of projects. By the time we got to City Hall, it was also leaking onto the floor, and so last year you approved a project to replace the boilers here at City Hall. That has been completed, and now our third part of the project is actually to replace the one at the library. It was probably the one that was in the best shape of all 3 locations. However, it is to the point where at any moment that heat exchanger will give out and just start dumping water onto the floor. The new technology, this is kind of same on the line of, we're not putting in nuclear reactors, but they've discovered the power of titanium and the importance of that. So the heat exchangers are now made out of titanium. They do last a significant longer than the 20 years. So this is a project that will carry on for many, many years after most of us are gone. The key to these, however, is that they do require regular maintenance. And each time we put one of these in place, we do enter into a service contract with a third party to come twice a year and to do a maintenance on it just so that we don't corrode the titanium out. We entered into the contract with American Chiller. They are a state contractor. They proposed a fee of $83,600. This is an approved capital project in our budget, and so we want to move forward with this and get their boiler replaced.
Is this the last one we need to replace then?
This is.
For the moment, I'm sure.
At the moment.
Okay.
Our next step, just so you're aware, is we'll then conduct, so City Hall and the library actually have chillers. The pool actually has a big air handler up on the roof that does the cooling of the air there. Here, we actually use chillers at both of the places. We have replaced the chiller at the City Hall. The next step will be to replace the chiller at the library.
Okay.
I do like to hear there's a service contract, because we've talked about regular maintenance and how important it is, so that's good.
Yeah, and it's actually, it was kind of a no-brainer because it's actually very cost-effective. I think for both the pool and the City Hall, it's only costing the city about $540 a year just to have them come out and do the maintenance. They check the pH levels. So what they're doing is they're actually just checking as you're heating and cooling water, it affects the chemicals that are in the water naturally, and then plus the glycol that they put in gets mixed around, and so they come and check that to just make sure that we're not cooking our titanium heat exchangers.
Great. Any other questions or comments? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2024-77, a resolution of Tooele City Council approving an agreement with American Chiller Mechanical Services for boiler replacement, Tooele City Public Library.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I also vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 13 is Resolution 2024-81, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with England Construction for the Red Del Papa Park Water Project, presented by Darwin Cook, the Parks and Recreation Director.
So to provide a little history on this one. When I was brought on as the Parks Director, we had 4 locations that were still old school irrigation system, Buckner's. That was Elton Park, Oker, Ballfield, and Red Del Papa and City Park. Our goal has been to try to convert these over to an automatic smart timer so that, one, we can conserve water, that we can water at times when other water usage in the city isn't is quite so heavily, and to save an employee that has to manually go out and move the water. So the first part of this project was getting the system in place, and Red Del Papa is the last park in the city to be converted to an automatic sprinkler system. So we've done that, and now we need to get the water metered and get the proper protection in place for the supply coming into the park. Part of this project in a whole separate contract was to actually reinstall irrigation water to the park. Years ago, the park did have Settlement Canyon irrigation. When some construction was done there, that line was severed. So a whole nother contractor is actually reinitiating that connection, and then this will complete the culinary connection with a proper meter and with a backflow preventer. The state does require us to meter all of our culinary connections, including the ones that the city is using, especially for irrigation.
Okay, any questions or comments?
You'll be using both irrigation and city water, culinary water?
Yes, and to kind of give you an update on that, Tooele City is the largest shareholder of Settlement Canyon Irrigation, and our goal is to be able to use the more of the locations we have where we have the irrigation actually metered, the greater chance we have of using the actual full capacity of our shares.
Okay.
And another question is, Settlement Canyon tends to shut off at a certain time. If they have low water levels, the culinary will allow us to continue to water.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and just so you know, up until this point, 100% of Red Del Papa has always been watered with culinary. I'm sure years ago they did bring the irrigation in, but for the last probably 7-8 years, it has only been culinary water. So we're really hoping to kind of conserve that for human use, for domestic use, and use the irrigation as much as possible. So.
That's good.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-81, approving an agreement with England Construction for the Red Del Papa Park Water Project.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0.
And for the record, so that it's on the record, we did receive 2 bids, Broken Arrow and England Construction, and England Construction bid was the lowest at $99,300.
Thank you.
And this is a par-tax project, by the way.
Great. Thanks, Darwin. Item 14 is a resolution 2024-78, a resolution of the Tooele City Council authorizing the application for and acceptance of Edward, I never say this right, Byrne Justice Assistance Grant Funding for Police Department Equipment, presented by Adrian Day, the Police Chief.
My business service assistant, Kayleen Young, has done the tedious paperwork of required to submit for this grant. The funds allocated are based off violent crime data at $18,777. For a look at last year, it was 17. In 2022, it was 14. So that says something about our violent crime. There's no cash match requirement for this grant, and it's harder to find something to purchase for this grant sometimes because of the restrictions JAG grant puts on it. But we're asking for permission to buy a certified drug detection canine and equipment so we can combat the rise of drug trafficking. And canines are around 7,000. Cage in a patrol vehicle is around 6,000, so it'd fit under the grant.
Is this the first drug canine we've had, or have we had them in the past?
We've had one in the past. It was tied to the drug task force, and they were paying for a lot of the equipment and getting the dog, but we provided the officer. And we had one before that, years ago, maybe 18 years ago, we had one.
I had one when I was in high school.
Yeah, they go down the hallways, right?
Yeah. Schools.
That was more than 18 years ago.
Yeah. Schools, the homeless shelter, Tooele County Housing Authority all request this quite a bit. It's usually from UHP.
Great use of the money.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve Resolution 2024-78, a resolution of Tooele City Council authorizing the application for acceptance of Edward Bryan Justice Assistance Grant Funding for the Police Equipment.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall and a second from Councilwoman Manzione. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 15 is Resolution 2024-79, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an interlocal agreement between Tooele City and Tooele County for the 2024 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Funds, presented by Adrian Day, the Police Chief.
Thank you, Council. I appreciate it. And this, I call it the JAG grant to make it easier to say. It requires an interlocal agreement with the county. They don't, to distribute these funds, they don't qualify under their violent crimes, but we're still required to do this by the grant. So we're ask for this interlocal agreement, and I can answer any questions.
All right, any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve Resolution 2024-79, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an interlocal agreement between Tooele City and Tooele County for the 2024 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Funds.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilman McCall. We will take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Thanks. Item 16 is invoices and purchase orders presented by Michelle Pitt, the city recorder.
Thank you. We have an invoice from Turf Equipment and Irrigation for a Workman Kubota for the Parks Department, and it's for $39,068.64, and they are on state contract. And then there's an invoice for Weidner, and this is for fire turnout gear, $34,201.11, and they are also on state contract. Then we have an invoice for open purchase order for road salt with Broken Arrow, $65,000. And then we have an invoice for Broken Arrow, and this is something that's considered an emergency because we've got two sections of pipe that have a major belly or a very low spot. Whenever we go in and try to clean that area, it causes a sewer backup into some homeowners. They're very tired of that, so we need to get it fixed. So we're asking for you to consider approving this tonight, but then I'd like to bring it back next council meeting as a resolution with the contract so that we can get insurance certificates and everything that goes with the contract for that.
Do you know where that's at, where that project would be at?
It's on Benchview Drive.
On Benchview.
Yeah.
How much was that one?
Oh, sorry. $34,779.22. Okay, and then we have another invoice. This is to Precision Concrete Cutting. This is to grind sidewalks for trip hazards. And they have a very specialized process in doing this. So we'd like to choose them as a vendor. This is for $49,763.85. And we'd really like to get this going. So we're asking for your approval tonight, and then we'd like to bring it back again in 2 weeks with a resolution and a contract. But while the weather's good, we'd like to get started doing these sidewalk grindings.
Is that the whole city or part of the city or?
Yeah, it'll be throughout various locations in the city.
The spots have already been identified, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Jamie's standing
It looks
up,
like
so
we
he can
have,
tell
yeah,
us.
we've got a list of addresses attached.
And so this is just one quadrant of the town. It's actually the southern portion of the town. And then we just took everything in that quadrant and anything that was 2 inch or greater, 2 inch, 2 to 4. If it's more than 2 inches, I'm trying to think. If it's 4 inches, we can't grind because it's basically a replacement. If it's 2 inches or less, then we can grind. And so I think it's from 1 inch to 2 inch. So it's all the 1 inch and 2 inch lips that we go and grind them down so they're not trip hazards. And so we're just going to take some of that sidewalk money to go grind those. And then anything that was greater than 2 inch, those are just going to be replacements. And so it would just be the southern portion of town. And then next year, we would just come to you with the next section and just hopefully try to get those all taken care of over the next couple of years if we can, 2 or 3 years. Sorry, Michelle, I didn't read that.
Okay, any other questions about that one?
Is that just sidewalks or is it driveway sidewalks, whatever?
It's just sidewalks.
Just sidewalks.
But it could be, if you have a drive approach with a sidewalk and there's
Sure.
a trip hazard, it could be that sidewalk.
Sure,
But
yeah.
it just won't be anything with the drive approaches.
I think I've noticed those markings on the sidewalks, because I walked that part of the town. It looks like there's been paint and
Yeah,
orange.
where
and-
they kind of marked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea. I've tripped over a few of them.
Me too.
Not because I'm old though.
You're the reason for it then, huh?
It's a lot cheaper to grind those that we can grind and get them taken care of than replacing them. It will
Yeah.
save on the replacement costs.
Or have me sue you, so.
Or have councilman sue us for
What?
it.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. Is that the last one?
Yeah.
I was waiting for more, okay. All right, any other questions about the invoices? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to pay the invoices and purchase orders as presented by Michelle Pitt.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and Councilwoman Manzione with the second. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Thanks, Michelle. Item 17 are the minutes from September 18th, 2024 work meeting and the September 18th, 2024 business meeting. Any corrections? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione,
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches,
I'll abstain.
okay, Councilman Hanson,
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 4-0. Item 18 is to adjourn at 8:11 PM.